Hi everybody, welcome back to StorytellerSpira's channel. We are on episode 23 of New Orleans by Night. We are continuing from last week, and the week before even, where our intrepid player characters are trying to infiltrate this diablerie auction where humans recently turned kindred and some other elder kindred from the city had been captured to be sold and basically have their souls eaten, if you don't know what diablerie is. It is a dark delight of certain people. It is frowned upon by almost everybody. It's just bad juju all around. Last game ended with our characters, except for, so Theo, Rebecca, and Abraham, basically in disguise, are on the riverboat where the auction is going on, and are now in the second floor parlor where the auction was about to begin. Dinah, you're still in ghost form, but you can use your majesty. So
Yes. So
Luther and Dinah are actually on a speedboat following the riverboat from behind, but Dinah, who recently discovered her ability to use astral projection with her Auspex powers, is inside the boat, has been following the escapades of everybody, and is now about to try and use her presence ability, known as Majesty, which just basically kind of curtails everyone's point of view to yours if it succeeds on the crowd in front of her. It's a decent sized crowd, so we're gonna see exactly what happens. Alright, this music's been playing for a little bit, so let's do something a little more spooky.
Spook.
There's a little spook going on. Alright, so Dinah, I will need you to make a wait. Oh, you don't roll. Yep, you don't roll. I just make courage rolls for everybody in the room equal to your charisma intimidation, which is 7.
Which is 7.
Alright. So you can talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I make a few rolls.
Hey, and then I've also got to make a roll.
Yep, I gotta.
Hey, y'all do.
I gotta
make. Say that it was easier for them because they know it's coming.
I'm okay with that.
Oh no! I don't care about your role. I'm talking about the role to dominate Theo so he doesn't pay attention to the stage.
Oh, that too.
Right.
That's right. You were gonna do that.
Yes, it was.
All right, Abraham, go ahead and make that roll first.
And my brain is not braining right now. I have to just realize what that role is.
Which level of dominate do you want?
I am trying to remember that.
It would probably be
mesmerize.
Yeah. So then you'll need to roll manipulation and leadership equal to Theo's willpower, which is
like
3.
-8.
-8. I don't care.
Hey, you know what would help? If I was in Roll20.
Maybe.
It helps with rolling.
Just a tad. Just like a touch.
I mean, I have the D10.
Like a smidge.
So I'll have you roll that first before I fill this with like 20 rolls.
Getting there. You said it was 3?
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
You're fine.
So that's 9 successes.
Well, I absolutely need some fluff description of Abraham dominating Theo then at that level of success.
Basically what I do is I see that she's about to do something, and I know Theo is on the edge, is really close to doing something that's probably going to cause problems. So, are you wearing gloves? You're not wearing gloves, correct?
No.
Okay. So, then I will grab your hand and say, do not pay attention to her. Do not let her into your mind. Pay attention to me.
Just a quick technical question. When dominated, does your mask stay up? Also, does him grabbing my hand break mask? Shouldn't. It's just a touch, right?
Abraham would be smart enough to maybe like grab like the wrist of your shirt just in case.
I have to make skin contact. I have to, or this doesn't work.
If you can like gently just fingers on his hand, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right. And since you have such a high success, you can like mutter at the end and like make sure your mask stays up.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Works for me.
Just
to Theo's credit, he's actually handling this quite well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, he is.
Abraham just
This
gently.
is not because they think he's doing bad. This is a just in case.
Abraham,
just in case.
Abraham just gently kind of hooks a pinky around his, like, "Hey, buddy." All right. So Theo is essentially mentally placated. He will remain calm for now, and he's not going to pay attention to what's about to happen up on the stage. He's kind of like looking down at the floor. So, talk amongst yourselves for a minute as I do some rolls.
Hey, Elvish. What roll do I have to make?
What was it?
Courage. Just your courage. Against 7.
No, like 5 or 6 for him because you knew.
Oh yeah. No, you're fine at 5. Everybody else, since they don't know her, is going to be 7. And here we go.
Go Zabloni. Zamboni. Macaroni.
Yeah, I had some of that. Oh wow, 2 successes.
And you did it! I thought it was 7.
It is. Sorry, I put it in wrong, but I'll make sure I have that right.
Hey, do bits actually do anything for you guys? Like when people do bits on the Discord? I mean, on the Twitch?
Bits?
Yeah, so it gives us money. It's a way to support the stream.
The most ninja was asking.
So...
Yeah, yes, Super Chocolate Bear. I gently fingered Theo.
Yeah, just his hand, though.
I mean,
that
that
kind of
wasn't
stream
even
now. It's that kind of stream.
We're going there.
Oh, hey! Guess what? Hope probably needs to do this too. Unless she, like, depends on what her
I think she
mind
mind
shield.
shielded.
Yeah, but did she successfully mind shield?
I cannot remember the number of successes, but I felt like it was good.
I think she
Of
was,
course you do.
because it fell in with her being a ghoul and not being checked for things against that. Yeah, she did okay.
Hey, what would your number be on that? While Spira's rolling things.
Me? What would my number
Yep.
what of successes? I don't fucking know. That was so many
No.
years
What would
ago.
the difficulty? What would the difficulty be?
It is the way it works mechanically is for every 1 success I get, it detracts a success from yours.
Kate, but like, what would the difficulty for successfully mind shielding be? Like, what would your difficulty for making the mind shield roll be?
It depends on the level of mind shield. It's either 4 or 5. I think I went with a 5 diff.
Then you got 3 successes.
Okay, cool.
So, Dinah, you move your astral form up to the stage just as Maggie, the child vampire, was making her way up there to begin the auction, and you cast your majesty out on the crowd. As you watch the faces around you, there's about an actual dozen kindred and a small number of ghouls. The ghouls do seem to almost immediately pay attention to the stage a little more directly than they were, and you recognize the look in their eyes as you've caught some of them. But among the kindred in the room, you actually only notice 2 heads turning in the way you expected. The rest seem like a little uncomfortable, like some kind of strange breeze went by, but they don't seem to be affected. The 2 that are affected are one man, like early 30s, in a very nice dress, short brown hair. You didn't really hear much about him during the party. And the other one is the scruffy guy in the unkept clothes off on the side.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So, with your majesty, basically what will happen is that, they just basically have to, like, continuously try to fight against your will. So if your will is to not be involved with this, or to stop it, or something like that.
To be so disgusted with it that you want to stop it.
Like, intervene or leave?
Either.
Okay.
Does Majesty work on dominated targets?
That's a good question.
Like, I would have done it either way, because I don't know. I've got 1 dot in awe. Like, that's all I've got for presents.
Yeah, it's I'd say it's a little bit contested because, well, Abraham did succeed in telling you not to look at the stage. Majesty, especially because she's not even there, does have a bit more of a
I would say
effect.
that it more affects. I would say that if they're successfully dominated, that their role therefore becomes their dominator's role. Like, however well the person dominating them does, that's how well they do.
I think I actually like that interpretation. So if you succeeded in not being fallen under the majesty, it's okay, because right now Theo's kind of under your whim about, like, staying calm and keeping his head down.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, Maggie is still slowly making her way back up to the front of the stage. For those that may have missed it last week, or just as a refresher, in this second floor parlor, it is a fairly small room. It is bedecked with a nice hardwood floor, clean hardwood walls with a very vintage old style wallpaper up along the wall, some fleur-de-lis on it. And then there are a set of benches, almost like church pews, making 2 aisles, or two rows with an aisle up and down in the middle, that all of the kindred have recently sat themselves on, each now holding a traditional auction-style paddle. At the front of the room is a very small wooden stage with a podium that Maggie is walking herself up to, and to the left is a large steel-barred cage full of, I think it was about 7 people. And then to the right, the exact same kind of cage, but with about 5 people in it. As our player characters have surmised, The people kept in the cage on the left are the humans that were recently captured and turned only to be kindred for diablerie, whereas the cage on the right has the quote-unquote more expensive stock, as some of them have been referring to it, meaning that their kindred might be lower generation, older, just essentially their soul, their blood is going to be a lot more tantalizing.
Hey, can I look around and see how many see if I can pinpoint someone relatively close to me that is maybe a bit higher generation, like a younger person that might be looking to work their way up, or is just addicted to this and is just younger.
Of course. 1 second. Alright, and you do also have aspects to check auras for that. So okay, answer me this. Do you want to specifically look for the black signs of diablerie in someone's aura? Do you want to just look at them with awareness and kind of get maybe that they're younger, or both?
I'm just looking for some younger kindred. That's
okay.
the focus here.
That'll definitely be perception awareness then. I'm okay at 6. You're telling from the outside. You might not get the best read, but it's hard to tell anyway, because so many kindred can hide it in many different ways.
So that looks like 2 successes.
So what'd you get?
2 successes.
Okay. Let me look at my cast of character. With the exception of the scruffy guy, who I think Abraham has already put down to has many problems going on. He's so to say that is because he's acting a little twitchy. He's sitting in his chair, shaking his legs a lot. So you're looking for signs of someone who's maybe a little less comfortable. What catches your eye in this room is that most all of them look a little more comfortable in this setting. The fact that there are humans and / kindred locked in cages, their body language is still as the grave. They don't seem to be breathing as much as some younger kindred still do it automatically. But you do catch, it kind of catches your eye that the woman in the shawls, she seems mostly comfortable with the setting, just a little uncomfortable in general. She seems like she doesn't want anyone to pay attention to her, which is unfortunately making the people who are particularly observant, makes her an eye-catching subject. The other person in the room is a kindred with short, messy, almost punk-styled red hair that you did, I think, notice Theo talking to earlier. She definitely has an air that you recognize as a younger kindred.
All right. Then in that case, which one of those seems a little bit less paid attention to, less surrounded by people? Because I'm sad that Diana's thing didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know what to do
But that
now.
doesn't mean it can't work. About to do something a little stupid.
So the one that's a little more alone?
Yeah, so somebody that I can somebody that I can perhaps approach with fewer eyes on me.
Certainly. The younger kindred with the short red hair is seated very closely to another kindred that you saw just even from your peripherals, you would have noticed her because she was being loud and brash. And you see her continuously, like, leaning over and whispering things to the young kindred. So she is not on her own. The woman in the shawls is seated at the far back left. Even if you speak with, I think you spoke with Dinah a bit about her, and Dinah had mentioned that, like, she already came up here. So she came up here first, sat herself down, and just waited.
All right. I will send to Theo, and, like, I will send to all three, because at this point I've got connected. I could do something stupid and make these perhaps stop, or give us time to think.
Yes, do it.
Theo will kind of like think to himself, if anything goes wrong here, there's a good chance this trail goes cold.
Yeah.
Like that, you would get the feeling from his thoughts that is just as equally as cover blowing as just violently stopping this.
I could have someone else violently stop this.
Same result, we still lose whoever's in charge.
All right.
I can hear the source is telepathic.
Yeah, it's telepathic, but I'm kind of alternating back and forth between them being a relay, which is a little bit of a pain in the ass.
Telepathic group chat.
Okay. Can we split them up from the rest? If we know who the head is.
Nope, she's announcing up on the stage.
Yeah, I mean,
Theo has a general sense that
waiting on Abraham to relay all this. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Theo would have just a general sense of, like, we don't know that she's in charge. We know that she's running this specific one, but we know it's not the first one, and this could very well go higher.
Yeah, I know.
So then let it go. And we let this go on.
As you continue to
And that was a
chat.
question.
Oh.
So then we let this go on.
Can we split them up?
I do not know if we can split them up.
Okay, I mean, can we get the three of them elsewhere?
It will probably be much easier when this is all done.
I don't know, can you have someone make some kind of disturbance to make someone have to go investigate it?
Not cutting you guys off, you can continue chatting. But Magdalene is at the front of the stage now by the podium, stepping up on a small little stool for her height, and clears her throat. Well, I think it's about time we get the festivities going. So, if you will, and she turns her head to the guard standing in front of the cage with the 7 younger, freshly made kindred, who opens the cage. The other one across the room keeps his rifle trained at the door so that no one tries anything, and leads a young woman out of the cage up onto the stage. She seems to be shaking both from obvious, sort of lack of, well, it would be food and water for anybody else, but it doesn't seem like she's fed anytime soon, and as well as fear. So she stands there, and Maggie looks out on the crowd, smiling.
I will, to Theo, save some of them. I will cover the bill. I cannot do much right now, but I can do this.
You get the general just the feeling of, I care more about my city and right now than I do about the big picture and whatever games that, whatever bullshit is going on higher up. I'd rather stop this whole thing, save these people in front of us, and we'll try to figure out the rest.
Maggie says to the crowd, I'm afraid I can't say much about this one. No personal details available, but I can tell you she is young, spry, as you can tell. I believe, let's see, and she shuffles through some papers on the podium. I think she should be at least generation 12, if not 11. Pretty good find, you know, blood'll be younger, but should do the trick. And in a very kind of typical auction, posh auction, not the rattling off numbers, she waits for people to begin raising their paddles. One man toward the front raises his at the first note of $200.
Rebecca will raise her paddle.
You don't have one, Rebecca.
Oh, well, shit. She'll find one. She's gonna get up and look for one.
There's one set for the amount of kindred who entered the boat.
Theo has one.
If he's not gonna raise it, she's gonna raise it.
Theo can't see the stage.
Yeah, then she's gonna take it.
No, okay. So, no. I apologize. You can. I did it for long enough to protect you from the Majesty.
Oh, okay.
I am not maintaining a stare. I am just, like, I did it so that you didn't immediately fly off the hinge. Or fly off the hinge.
Okay, I get it. Alright, cool. I'm assuming, like, you're, like, visibly agitated looking for a paddle?
Yeah.
He'll kind of, like, just put his hand on your leg and just say, calm.
She's going to look at him and, in as low a voice as she can muster, we can be there after. We don't have to buy, but they'll have to make the trade. We can deal with them then.
I don't think that an elder such as the Baron bidding on the 12th generation makes much sense. Finer tastes.
Then find who you want. But all I'm saying is that we bid, and we can deal with the people after, because we have to deal with them.
As you two whisper amongst each other about the bid keeps going up every, like, couple $100. The scruffy guy with a long, not nearly dreadlocked hair, but definitely unkempt, sitting off to the side, stands up suddenly and practically screams, "Not that one!" Everyone freezes in the middle of the auction, especially Maggie, who had a little gavel in her hand waiting to drop it at the right cost, and stares at him for a little while, her eyes closing slightly toward a squint, and then says quietly, I'm sorry, Raymond, I didn't understand that you had any of these, I didn't understand that you had dibs on any of these. The man sitting next to Raymond, who Rebecca spoke to earlier, Carson, grabs his shoulders and forcibly sits him down, kind of loudly whispering, "What the hell is wrong with you?" The kindred known as Raymond, as Maggie called him, looks continuously agitated, but he tries to sit still. She's mine. There's a bit of strong silence in the crowd.
Okay, so I don't know that Rebecca has done anything to his brain meats. Can I roll to see, like, what kind of investment he has in this, to see, you know, if I can see what kind of emotion, what kind of connection, is he being protective, is he being, like...
Abraham, give me perception empathy.
Cool.
at 7.
That's 2.
Alright, retroactively, when you knew Dinah was going to try her majesty on the crowd, you also kept an eye out, and you saw Raymond become immediately agitated and look toward the stage. So you are pretty sure he's under her majesty at this point,
cool.
and does not like what's going on, but is very mentally trying to fight it.
Then I will tell Dinah. Good job, that one was you, I think.
Well then, sorry ladies and gentlemen, but my colleague here has called for this one. Please don't feel alarmed, that just means he will outbid any of you. So, just first of the night, nothing important. We have far many more to go, and of course, she waves a hand toward the right cage, the actual prizes of the night. So if we would continue, and she waves a hand for the guard to take that woman back into the cage, kind of like does a little mark on her hand, and then leads a young, skinny guy out. By the look of his clothes, his skin, and everything, all of you know well enough that this guy probably was, kind of a homeless street urchin, 20-something, maybe on drugs, doesn't look very healthy, gets up on the stage. Maggie sighs as, I understand what he looks like, but I can promise you that this one is at least Generation 11. We had him specially tailored for that, so if we can begin the bidding again, I guess we'll start at 100 for this one.
Yeah, and I will just send to each of them, just make sure to keep track of who claims whom, so that we can deal with it.
So, someone chopped and moved. Oh no, we gotta do a shuffle.
Nope, who are we playing? Nope, who are we playing now?
Okay. Jeez, everybody switched. Oh my god.
Okay, so I want to cast a magic. I want to make a magic happen.
Wait, who am I? Tell me who I am.
You're Theo.
You're Theo.
Do it, do your Theo.
I can't do voice. Oh.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right, Char, can you cry on command?
Oh God. No, of course not.
We need to hear Elvish's attempt
I
at
cast
Abraham's
Fireball.
accent.
I cast Fireball.
Alright, let's do this little switch.
It's a
See,
gazebo.
the best part is just all of the paradox. I will eat all of it right now because
Rude.
I don't have to deal with the lasting effects.
Rude.
I thought so.
So, the auction begins and continues for a short while with this young man, but then there's a sudden, obvious pause. No one's that interested in the junkie, and Maggie taps her gavel for a man in the front who paid about 500 for him. Well, that'll be that one. And the guard leads him back into the cage, puts a mark on his hand. And as such, there is now another young woman. While she looks a lot healthier, as Meg explains, the bidding starts at 300.
So I think we're all kind of seething and keeping track of who is making which purchases. I don't know if any of us are going to specifically speak up. As awful as this is.
Yeah, we're waiting for an expensive one.
Y'all asked Theo to hold character. He's holding character.
I'm going to make a couple quick notes then, and then I'll essentially downtime it and you can stop me in the middle.
Yeah, so like we're absolutely keeping track of who bought how many. We are going after those people, or at least that is Abraham's plan. I'm not making thoughts for other people, but that's Abraham's plan, is keep track and fuck them up. But I think we're waiting for the two prizes of the night, as reprehensible as that is.
Yeah, I'm basically just crying for real. Like, I can't really handle it. I'm sorry.
So as you sit waiting, the cage full of the recently turned kindred continues having one member pulled up onto the stage. Bid starts at, a couple hundred, maybe up to 4 at the beginning for those that are marked as younger and healthier and at least lower generation when they were turned. And you see as this continues that Tessa, the kindred debutante, the one with the, furs and all of her herd that were hanging around earlier, buys at least 2 of them. The woman in the shawls does buy 1. There are 2 men that you hadn't really met or interacted with buy 1 each. And then the young kindred with the short red hair that Theo knows as Maya Rose buys the last person in the recently turned cage.
You said 2 of the younger gens took the 2 younger gen people that I knew as being younger gen.
No, Maya Rose. You only know that name, or Theo knows that name.
I met her.
She's the younger one. She bought the last one. Tessa, the person who seemed to have been her friend or brought her, the person that's sitting right next to her, got 2.
All right.
And I have this all noted, so if you have to ask again, let me know. Maggie, after the last person is returned to the cage and their hand marked, smiles widely at the crowd. Well, definitely shaking up to quite an evening. Oh, as a note, so they all started in the hundreds, but a couple of them went well into the thousands. It was really only the junkie that got finished at about 500. The rest of them were well bid for. So Maggie seems delighted with the way things are turning along. And she gives a side glance to the next cage and smiles and says, I think it might be time for some refreshments before we finish the night off. If you would like to return downstairs, or you can stay here, I'll make sure the waiters bring you something.
They will stand up rather quickly and start heading out.
I will actually say, give me one moment. I can do something about this for a moment.
They'll hold up for you.
All right. So
one last note during this kind of downtime wrap up. Raymond, scruffy guy, continuously is looking like he's fighting being upset about this, but hasn't stood up or freaked out like he did the first time.
All right. So the 2 people that are younger gen, only one of them purchased only 1.
The other person you were curious about was the woman in the shawls. You don't know if she's younger, you just notice weird body language from her. You only know for sure that Maya Rose, by her body language, the way Tessa is hanging on her, she's definitely the youngest of this group. You can like tell like the kid brought to the college party.
All right. Then I will. Okay. So the youngest one we know, and then the shawl lady, who I think might be younger generation.
Yeah.
How many were purchased between the two of them?
Each bought one.
Okay.
In fact,
Then,
the only person who got more than one was Tessa.
Okay. Okay. So then, what I am going to do is I will ask real quick, do we think that this will be something they will partake of before the night is up?
Is that out loud or it's like
That's psychically.
Theo will just kind of think back like he doesn't think it's possible to have a lower opinion of these people right now, but even that, this is like putting the cloth over the bird before eating it. Like, it's sinful.
All right.
They're gonna hide.
All right. So I will tell you, I can if it makes sense, I can make them an offer they can't refuse, as it were, to meet you about something other to be done with them that will allow us to separate them after this. The problem, of course, is if they are older than us. And you know this is a concern for me, Quilwitz.
Theo's just gonna think that, let's see what this handoff looks like, and then plan accordingly.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of eye the people that that made purchases and just kind of watch them and see how they're acting, what they're doing, if anyone's like immediately beelining for the stage.
Yeah, we can linger.
The debutante and the younger one, Theo knows them as Tessa and Maya Rose. Tessa grabs her up and, laughingly leads her downstairs to have a drink. Couple other people stand from where they were sitting, but still have more of a social attitude about them. The only ones that really remain seated are the two men, and actually 3 men, and the woman in the shawls. Everybody else sort of starts to stand and move around, the women especially.
Right, but no one seems to be immediately going for the stage to be like, I'm gonna take my purchase and leave.
No, it seems like everyone is here for like a full night of this, whatever. If
right,
even
cool.
if they're not buying more.
That's mostly what I was concerned with.
Okay.
Like the idea was maybe if I get the chance, save someone now if someone's just gonna cut and run. Cool. So then I will not have then I will say then we wait, I suppose.
So
Theo's gonna head for refreshments.
So, yes, as they all go for refreshments, we'll take just a couple-minute break, and then we're going to see what Luther's up to out on the boat with some of his gangrel friends. See how many of those blue bass and catfish he caught.
That's right.
All right, so
Hey, don't drop the bass.
Anybody watching in the audience, if you have any questions about the game or the characters, go ahead and ask them now. We can clarify anything or just let you know. And otherwise, let us know how you're doing. And we'll be back to the game in just a few.
Break time.
Not great. Angry is how I'm doing.
Super hella mad.
I feel bad about playing Roland.
Just saying, it happens. It comes up.
Oh yeah, that's part of the reason why, like, for Otto, like, I enjoyed playing him, but I was glad to put him down because he was just emotionally draining. He was just difficult. Like it was emotionally stressful to get into his headspace because his headspace is not a good place to be.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
So when I would put him down at the end of the night, I'd be like, oh, I would feel dirty. It's funny, Callum was not nearly so bad, but that's because he was almost cartoonishly villainous, whereas Otto was a realistic bad person. Callum definitely had like a twist the mustache evil going on to him, and that's less draining to do.
It's monstrous evil, whereas you're playing human
whereas
evil.
Otto was a human evil. I'm gonna go pull some soda out of the freezer.
Do it. Go pull that soda.
Theo's actually liberating when I'm done playing him. Like, it feels better.
Yeah, I feel pretty good after playing Luther. He's a big old sweetheart.
Ike is a little more draining than Theo.
I could imagine Ike being pretty hard to get into.
It's like the paranoia and fear is difficult, but like Theo's like, I don't give a fuck about anything in the world. Let's go. I will admit, though, as we're getting closer to the Christmas time, I was kind of wondering, like, what kind of Christmas story we're gonna have this year, because I really want to do that again. Staying neutral is really hard because very few things really reward neutrality. They reward extremes, not level-headedness. Glad you like. We really enjoyed the Christmas episode too. We didn't know we had no idea that that's what it was going to end up being. And Spira had no idea it was going to go that way either. So that was pretty organic. It was strange. It was a good time.
Yeah, no, I love that Christmas special so much.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do your characters have favorite animals?
I'm sure they do.
So Theo definitely does.
All right, what are they?
Theo loves dogs, of course.
That was my guess,
dogs.
but I didn't want to,
Ike doesn't know. He just knows that he would love to have had a pet and never had a chance. But I have a feeling if anyone was like, I found this puppy, he was like, it's never leaving my hands. I will slaughter this city.
Now I imagine him as like a traveling kid, and then he's got like setups, secret caches where there's just like a fish tank that he visits, and then
It's all he trusts himself around is a fish tank. He's like, I mustn't get too attached.
What about Luther?
Ooh, I don't know
What about Luther?
I don't know what animal Luther would like.
Animals
I was
are
thinking
characters.
more Roland probably really likes lions.
Roland
Felix likes
He likes
rats.
Elvis, your beard is looking wonderful.
Ugh, Elvis, your beard.
I want to
It's-
break me off a piece of that.
Piece of that beard.
Oh my, Elvis, what long hair you have.
That was a great shampoo commercial, thank you. Hopefully we get paid for it.
Idiots born within.
Garnier Fructis.
Idiots Articus.
Looking at you, baby girl.
Come on, Garnier.
Hey, Hope, are you a Garnier Fructis girl as well?
No, I use like fancy shampoo that I shouldn't spend money on, but I buy it.
Yeah, that noise.
I go to Sally's beauty salon and then just ask a lady to hand me something and then I leave.
Okay,
Put
so
something in my hands.
So I don't buy the most expensive stuff, but when I do, that is exactly how I do it. Look, you're the professional. I don't know what I'm doing. Hand me something.
Yep.
See, I buy like just kind of body wash and shampoo, and then I buy slightly fancier conditioner.
Why would you spend the money on conditioner?
Because I need conditioner.
No, but like conditioner is just like oils and shit. You want to wash your hair good. Like prioritize the shampoo.
Because clean hair is clean hair, but like
no, it's
conditioner
not.
makes my hair silky soft.
Oh my god, no!
Silky soft.
Any conditioner is going to soften your hair. It's conditioner.
Yeah, Zabani. Everyone knows.
Shampoo is
Fucking
gonna shampoo your
conditioner?
hair. It's
No.
shampoo.
No, that's not true.
That's
I don't
not
exactly
true.
know
Not
if I
true.
like split ends or anything.
Have you put a bar of soap in your hair? That'll clean your hair, but it feels fucking nasty. There
not
are
shampoo.
levels.
It's not shampoo.
I had a friend who did that, and I bought him shampoo. I was like, no. He's like, yeah, I just use soap. And I was like, not.
Hey, help. It feels nasty, and then you put conditioner in there, and it solves that problem.
How about get good shampoo, and
How
then
about
you
get
won't have
wrecked?
that problem?
How about get wrecked?
How
No.
about gig?
How about no you?
On the topic of the conversation, because I was trying to put my headphones back on nicely, I love having my long mohawk, but God, I do kind of miss short hair, because I was just kind of like, do you go this way? Do you go this way? Stop getting tangled!
Hey. Chocolate Bear.
Yeah,
Eh?
bud.
So you mentioned earlier that you have some fancy Jameson.
Huh? No, I have the what is it? The IPA cast Jameson.
Ah.
Yeah. Do you, what? It's like everywhere. I'm not drinking it right now. Should
No,
I drink it?
I
I kind
I was
of like I
curious.
need to.
Should I be drinking something fancy? I mean, like I have some fancy alcohol in a closet. I can get
It's
it.
in a closet.
I've got
Why?
It's hiding from people who would drink it without knowing its price. Okay,
Who are these people?
siblings.
Hold on. What was Roland's
Hey.
favorite animal?
Lion.
Oh, that's right. You said lion. Zibs, how about you? I like that question.
Character's favorite animal.
I mean, I would think the answer to that is exactly obvious.
No, it's not.
A pair of dogs that are named after Greek god or Roman gods.
Moons.
Yeah, but what
Oh,
about
wait.
Angel?
No.
Angel? So, oddly enough, I feel like for entirely different reasons, dogs. Because he is kind of like, he's all about the simple things. Like he's not gonna go out of his way to be like, oh, it's just like a nice dog. In theory, in practice, they don't like him because he's a kindred. But in theory, he likes dogs because they're simple. They're that are cats, just really pet animals. I could see Angel having a cat.
I feel like there was something Angel hated, because I brought it up in a game, and he was like, I hate that animal.
Angel can get a cat if he wants.
Was it the rat? Was it?
Yes. Just school your cat and it'll love you.
Well, someone
It
certainly
might have been
hated...
Candlestick.
Yeah, was it Candlestick that you hated?
Candlestick the rat.
'Cause
That
I was thinking-
Candlestick the rat. That was Felix's pet.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
I have a cat.
Because I was thinking Sunshine also has her two giant mutant rats, which Deckard hated.
I
It was
want a
really
little immortal kitty. That sounds great.
Oh, can you help me just real quick? I'm deciding between two names for a fish, and I can't pick.
Fish.
That's not one
Name
of the names.
fish.
Sir Fishingston.
No, that's not one of the. I will
You
give
can-
you the two
yeah,
names,
give us-
and then you will help
everybody
me. Either banana or squishy.
Squishy.
Fish.
Clearly squishy.
Squishy,
Fish.
squishy.
You will
It's
call
the
him
same
squishy,
cute, though.
and he will be mine.
I was just gonna say that. You are named Squishy, and you will be my Squishy.
Has to be squishy.
Thank you.
Look at that kitty.
If it was like banana colored, banana would be great. But it's like
It is not. It's not. It's like white.
No, I know. I
with, like,
saw. It was
red.
like white, red, and black. I
But
like
then you
squishy.
just sing bananas all the time. You're like, this shit is bananas.
Yes.
Or you could put the phone up to the fishbowl and be like, ring, 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 banana phone.
I have a really, really good, really depressing question to get us back in the mood for this this auction. How many dead best friends does it take to break a kindred's heart?
This sounds like a joke, but I thought you said it was a question.
You're immortal. How many best friend dogs can you watch die before you can't do it anymore?
Just ghoul them, and they live forever.
No, then they don't love you because they love you. They're part of you.
Animals don't really like you anyway. If you're
Right, I'm okay with that trade. I'm okay with it.
No.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree. The dogs were gonna love me anyway. Like,
I mean, they
Yeah,
are
their
dogs.
like
brain,
I
their
ghouled them.
brain was going
I-
to force them to love you. Now, just your blood does it. It's
I ghouled them. I ghouled them because they loved me. They don't love me because I ghouled them. Distinct difference.
He had the dogs first. He didn't buy a dog and then ghoul it immediately.
Yeah, I let them be dogs for a while. And then I couldn't let them go. So I ghouled them.
I still love that the one's like 400 now, so it doesn't look like its own breed. You just went, oh, is that a mutt? No.
This is a purebred basset hound.
How dare you?
They were still working on the breed, thank you. I still, one of these days, want to see like an antediluvian with a 4,000-year-old greyhound. Like a greyhound that is 10 times the age of some of the older vampires you'll see.
That'd be fun. Alright. Oh, so, right before we go check in on Luther, I do need something from a couple of you.
No, I told you, I'm not giving you money, Spira.
Dang it.
bits. Do you want bits?
No.
Bitcoins? I'll take bitcoins.
the
Okay.
bits. The bits.
I need a wits plus either etiquette or empathy, your choice, from Abraham, Theo, and Dinah.
Solidly gonna go with empathy.
Same.
Difficulty 6.
Like, this is when I want to bust out. Like, Theo's got 6 points in etiquette and like a specialty in like fine dining.
How the fuck on rolling 9 dice did I only get 2 successes? What the actual?
Because I took some of them. I got 10.
Oh my goddamn successes!
3 successes.
I rolled 9 dice and got more successes than dice.
Wait, sorry, opposite. No successes. Then again, the Baron being against etiquette isn't really that bad.
No, it was mainly for something I wanted to let you guys know that you would notice. So, Theo will say that this is akin to, or in part due to Abraham's slight dominate still on keeping your focus away from the stage and the people around you so you don't frenzy. Abraham and Dinah, basically the same thing. Maybe Abraham, you just picked up on it a little faster, a little keener. But you, as you were listening to the auction continue, and you heard the prices being thrown out for these people. So Dinah, I'm gonna say for you specifically, it made you a little curious. You thought, like, you know, this gathering of rich secret elder kindred was gonna be like some giant to-do about them wasting fortunes on these kindred to perform diablerie. The money seems a little strange to you. Seems a little low. Abraham, for you, you are absolutely certain this is absolute nonsense, so that this is absolutely a show. This is This is the debauched kindred from different areas of the United States who get together, and this is an event. Not just, they could do this on their own really if they wanted to. They could pay a kindred to turn a human, they could do it themselves and then feed on them, all these sorts of things. This is obviously fun, quote unquote.
I'm seething.
Yeah, the prices have gone up an okay amount, but you're assuming the amount of money you have, and as the age you're assuming of some of these people, it's not like it's some kind of rare commodity that, like, it's not like any kind of a cult prized object auction you've been to before where people will throw away millions on something. It's definitely an event.
Yeah, I am seething.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel like all three of them, as the course of this goes on, because I've got this open telepathy, can just feel just like red hot anger seeping through the telepathy.
All right.
Oh yeah, no, same. Like all.
Yeah.
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 I'm pretty sure we're all pretty upset here.
But
like really fucking angry and sad.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, but the point is, this is more like it is painful. Like I am on the border. Once time started going on, I just got angrier and angrier and angrier. And I'm sure everyone did.
So, we're gonna take
Theo seems to be gaining more and more resolve as time goes on. You guys notice he's the one like making small motions to like calm down and like ease people.
So the firecracker that then becomes the bridge. But back out on the river Mississippi, you got Luther fishing. His new gangrel friend Martin went back off flying as an albatross to keep an eye on the boat from the trees. As noted, the riverboat did stop, so you're kind of on the shoreline. Roxy, the gangrel, joined you. And you two had a little bit of a nice kind of like getting to know each other chat in the midst of this unfortunate circumstance. And she just mentioned amidst your conversation that Christopher and Anthony were further up the banks, kind of watching from the front to make sure if there was any need to head toward the riverboat from that direction. There was a couple people, and Jake had been moving up and down the sides of the bank, but was going to be coming and joining the two of you shortly to maybe get a little closer in case everybody needed a faster getaway than, because you're about like a half-mile away right now from the riverboat.
Oh, all right. But within like eyesight kind of a thing, or
absolutely no, it's a half-mile, but in a speedboat,
yeah.
And it's a large river. You can see it fine. You can make it there practically in no time. But you two have been kind of questioning if you should actually start sneaking up, since it seems that everybody's busy and you can't see any guards directly outside.
All right. I was like, what movements is she doing? Is she putting something on screen? Is she shot?
The important things.
Oh, yeah.
So, as I said, you and Roxy started talking. She runs her fingers through her short, messy brown hair and just shakes her head. I don't know, I've been on so many of these missions, and every time it always feels like every fork in the road is... You just never know which one's the right?
Yeah. It's kind of like a game of chance. You never know. You never know which reasons. Well, sorry, not which action's going to be the best action.
Roxy laughs at that. That's right. You're a gambling man.
Hey, now yeah. Sometimes I enjoy a good game. It's enjoyable.
I didn't mean any offense by it. I certainly meant it as, I don't know, compliment or not, but it's New Orleans. It's almost harder to meet someone who ain't been to a game or two.
That's true. I don't, Spira, do I ever actually see her at games? Was she at the last big game? I remember there was a kind of small female character that was at one.
No, Roxy. If you ever see her, it's more at clubs. Not the liveliest ones, but she's definitely more social. If you've ever seen her at a game, it was probably a game happening at a bigger party, and she just happened to be there, but she doesn't usually gamble herself.
You know, I never see you at any of the local games. You do you play much, or you kind of stay away from it? Seems like.
Roxy shakes her head and says, I've got my own brand of luck, but it's never lent itself to card games or really anything that puts money on the line. I'm more, I can race you down the bank and beat you kind of thing.
Oh, race you down the bank, you say?
And she, like, puts a hand to her forehead and kind of looks a little embarrassed. That sounded so childish. I just meant, you know, I'm better on my feet doing something physical than just waiting on the turn of a piece of cardboard.
Okay, all right. I see what you're saying. You say on your feet, any kind of a different type of races, you know, something a little bit more car oriented.
I'm all right behind the wheel. They've been around for not too long after I got turned, but and I mean, I could be a little bit of a daredevil. So when they first showed up, of course, I was behind the wheel of one of them now and then. Wound up in the side of a tavern, but I do all right. But I wouldn't put myself in a race though.
All right. Well, hey, next time I go out, I'll give you a little holler and see if you want to go.
As a passenger?
Yeah, well, both probably. I mean, if you want to take it for a spin, you could take it for a spin.
I've seen the cars you show up to clubs in now and then. I wouldn't dream of getting behind the wheel, but I'd certainly love to be in the passenger seat.
Well, that works out too. Do you think we should get closer to that riverboat, or man, I don't know.
She hangs her head and shakes it for a second. I know how dangerous it could be and how it could possibly blow our cover, but I can't even see anybody from the windows. I don't see anyone out on the deck. All I can make out is a shadow of the cabin up front. So I think it might actually be safer. I'm just hoping Jake didn't get too lost. So you two talk for a couple more minutes, and then you hear some heavy boot prints crushing some leaves along the bank up, up the muddy bank that's about a few yards from where you're actually seated.
Yeah, Luther will do like a quick turn and make sure it's him and not something else.
Roxy doesn't even turn her head. She does more of that thing where, like, she kind of turns her ear to make sure she can hear better. And then she just nods. That'll be Jake. Him and his cheap old pawn shop. Sorry, I was about to say the show. Pawn shop boots.
Jake isn't the bodyguard of
Yes,
Hope.
he is.
Jake, is it? Oh, all right.
So Jake starts traipsing down the muddy bank toward the small dock that you have your speedboat sat at. And you can see him, he's got his hands tucked in his jean pockets. Otherwise really only wearing kind of a white wife beater and definitely old boots. Roxy laughs and shouts up to him, I'm gonna buy you a new set if you don't take those off. Jake just shrugs and heads down the dock.
How's it going, Jake?
Jake gives you a courteous nod and one single shoulder kind of shrug. It's been pretty uneventful. I'm hoping it either stays that way or whoever's actually on that boat can solve this little problem as Well, actually, and he kind of stretches his arms and cracks his knuckles. I wouldn't mind knocking a couple Diablerous heads together, but I know they're probably a lot older and stronger than I am.
Yeah, let's not, jump ahead of ourselves. We're not here to, jump in head first. We're as more of a backup or, with support.
In a sudden step off the dock and into the boat that both is like equally confident of footing and a little awkward, so that it makes the boat shake and rock a little, Jake kind of just steps one part of his boot on the side and then jumps the rest of his weight into the boat and sinks down next to Roxy. Roxy, you were calling for me? She nods and says, "We're thinking about getting closer."
But like, we're not in a hurry to get closer. It's just like a passive thought. Maybe we might, but we could stay here if this is, it's no wrong decisions, I guess.
Jake turns his attention over to Dinah's slumped body, and as everybody else who has joined you recently says, "She alright?"
Nope. Dead as a log, unfortunately.
He looks her up and down, basically taking you as being serious, and says, "I thought she was a lot older. She hasn't changed at all."
Jake, we're kindred, pal. We're all, we're all dead, bud.
Roxy slaps her knee, laughing a little too hard, and Jake, without smiling, kind of punches her in the shoulder. All right, I get it.
Hey, Jake, last time I saw you, I might have said some things and been a little bit out of line, but we were a little out of sorts that night. I just, I hope there was no offense taken by anything that was said.
His brows knit together a little bit, and he thinks about what you said and your tone, and then nods, and he actually leans forward with his hand out to shake yours.
Luther will gladly shake it.
I understand, man. I'm just glad there isn't actually any bad blood or no one's upset. I was trying my best. I know it doesn't.
Hey, no, I get it. No, look, there's no hard blood. If anyone had said or felt anything, it would have been purely out of a place of caring for Rebecca. We were just a little bit scared, and you might have been a punching bag for our emotions, but there was nothing that was direct towards you, nothing long lasting,
Roxy lifts one eyebrow up in a very keen, it's a look you pick up as like she's kind of like, "Do you two need a moment?" But she doesn't say anything, and Jake ignores it and shakes his head. "I don't know Rebecca or really any of you all that well, but she's a good girl, and I didn't want anything to happen to her."
Yeah, she's pretty swell. But no, she's fine, and no harm, no foul, right?
Nah, life's too fucking short, even with what we got going on.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd put it that way, but I see where you're coming from. But
Roxy laughs again at that, but just doesn't say anything else.
Luther will kind of turn towards that boat. How about we stay here for a little bit longer? And plus, if anything horrible happens, Dinah here will be our little canary in the mine,
So both Jake and Roxy look at Dinah. Jake much more confused, but then Roxy says, "She, is she actually our walkie-talkie? Are we gonna know if something's going on?"
Yeah, you just gotta push the button and we'll kind of push your shoulder. This is Ranger 96 calling in. Big Blue Bird, call back, please.
Roxy Roxy will jokingly actually kind of like gently poke her shoulder, like one of those like, you know, kind of weeble wobble things. Just be like, all right, I just, you know, I don't want to leave them high and dry if she can't get back to us fast enough.
No, she get back to us. She could probably hear everything that we're talking about right now, which is probably a little bit distracting and confusing for her. But it's her burden to sit here and listen to us.
Oh, well, I'll save my autobiography for another time.
You guys know any good songs? We could sing some songs for her.
I don't think you want to hear my terrible voice. Jake kind of shrugs and says, I do, but same.
Come on, Jake. I know I've heard you down at the karaoke bar letting loose. I'm sure you could do it out here. It's just us, you know. Who you embarrassed?
Jake looks at you genuinely confused. I don't think I've actually been to a karaoke bar before.
Jake, I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna constantly mess with you until one of us dies, I'd imagine. But yeah, you're just gonna catch jokes from here till then.
Roxy leans over a little bit and kind of ruffles his dreadlock and says, "Come on, man. As rough as tonight's gonna be and is already. Let's just relax, all right?" He swats at her wrist but smiles. Says, all right.
And then yeah, cute little short banter, but nothing of any importance.
So for now, the three of you are sat in the speedboat. Well, the three not astral projecting of you are sitting in the boat with another body, just waiting to see if anything's needed. Back on the boat, everybody had moved around a little bit after the first portion of the auction to get some refreshments, continue some socializing, and this is where it really, like, pinged Abraham and Dinah's mind that this isn't as much a rare occurrence specialty thing that, like, is so well designed and protected that, like, you know, it could only happen in this place, this time, with this much money. It's actually a very, you know, terrible, deeply unfortunate event that these people are enjoying as if it was a party. But it's not actually very long if Abraham, Rebecca, Theo, and the ghost of Dinah stay in the second parlor, that the couple people who went downstairs come back up. No glasses in hand. Seems they just got a drink and came back up. So a little bit of downtime of people moving around, settling back into their spots, grabbing their paddles. You can overhear a couple people say, like, Tessa loudly proclaiming to the one older Asian kindred in the room, saying, you know, how excited she was that she managed to catch two of the younger ones, kind of flouting that it's just as much fun. It doesn't, especially if you're not trying for quote unquote something more. And then after a little while, Maggie makes her way back up onto the stage. Well, not to rush things along, of course there's always the after party, but let's continue with the actual festivities of the evening. And as had been done before, the guards walked one of the kindred out of the cage on the right. It is, in fact, someone that Dinah recognizes. It is a young woman of a kind of medium tan skin, thick dark hair. While she used to normally have, you know, very nice red and dark shadowed makeup whenever she went to the clubs, now it looks like whatever she had on her before has just been smudged and dried off. Her shirt is a little torn. Dinah recognizes her as a kindred known as Teresa. She is a friend of Seth's, who is a regular at the clubs in New Orleans. Teresa is not a New Orleans resident. She just comes every year regularly for Mardi Gras.
I know her.
Sorry, one more. Who? Teresa? Was that? That's not the one who sold the painting, was it? Or got framed for stealing a painting?
You don't know this, kindred.
Okay, above table?
Yeah, no. It's not, and no, you don't know it's kindred.
So why do we know her name?
Morgaine was the one who was framed. This is Teresa. She's just a kindred regular for Mardi Gras.
Oh,
Dinah only knows her because of the clubs.
Got it. Sorry, I got a little lost there.
No problem. Sorry, when I said you didn't know, I meant that both in and out of character.
That's was like, normally we don't have to do this, but hold up.
No, that's why I always say, like, you know, if you guys actually need clarification, that's fine. So Dinah has said to the group in the telepathic group chat that she does actually know this person.
Theo is curious if she's special or why she's special.
She is older.
How old?
Do you perhaps, Dinah, know how old she is?
No, but she hangs around with Seth.
I'm sure Maggie will let us know.
Theo will brain meets back to you, just like, you know, just the feeling of just like biding our tongue here is what's going to help these people.
You could save her, though. Even if these fucking monsters do think this is a game.
Did we get to roll for these if we recognize any of these? Now that, like, they're out of the cage?
We did do that.
Yeah, but now that they're, like, out of the cage and we're looking at them, can I get a second try at it for this guy?
I'm gonna tell you that any roll is gonna not show up anything. Dinah's the only one who would know two of them.
It's a pup.
Oh, look at the bubber. He doesn't listen to you.
Oh.
What are Raymond and Carter?
Yep. Raymond and Carter are still sitting on the side. Teresa has just been brought up on the stage. And Raymond still seems agitated. He's got, like, his eyes tightly closed, like he's not looking at the stage. And Carter is actually talking to him, still kind of being like, what's wrong? What do you need?
Rebecca's going to hit him with more guilt, if possible.
Okay.
And like a specific message being like, how can you sit here and be okay with this? How can you sit here at all? So that's mind 3.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Depends on if you put a specific difficulty on it. Because mind 3 makes it 6, but I don't know if he's I think he had a higher difficulty last time of like 8 or 9. If that's the case, then just 1 success.
Okay, it is still that higher difficulty, so you get the 1 success. Hold on. Give me perception alertness at 7.
Okay. It helps if I have the character sheet up.
I could tell you, but if you want to just get that up for any other reason.
Three successes?
What were the spheres you using again?
Just flat mind, or well, to affect a vampire, mind 1, or I'm sorry, mind 3, life 2, matter 2.
So you were trying to affect Raymond's mind with more guilt. And as you're focusing on that, you feel some kind of block against what you're trying to do. And as you feel it out with your extra sensory abilities, you recognize someone using the same kind of abilities to keep him calm.
Same kind of what?
The same kind of abilities to keep him calm.
Okay.
Someone else is using mind on him to keep him calm.
Yeah, she's gonna look at Carter's aura.
Carson, but yeah.
Carson's aura.
Go ahead.
Which is mine 1. 5.
All right. You recognize this as a completely unblocked aura, but you know that he's a mage.
Okay. Is there anything else in his aura, like emotions-wise, or?
He feels sparkly emotions.
I'm just gonna say the coin just dropped, so shit got more complicated somehow.
There is a stoic, unfeeling reaction toward the kindred around him, as if like he doesn't see them in the same light as perhaps humans, but in contradiction, he has a very protective feeling toward Raymond.
Okay. She's gonna stand up. Someone should stop her. She's gonna go punch this fucker. She's gonna go punch him in the mouth.
Does she look like she's gonna go punch someone?
She's gonna stand.
I absolutely will allow Abraham and Theo at like difficulty 4 to roll perception empathy. I mean, you see her stand up, but to like immediately pick up what she's feeling, go ahead and roll that.
Three.
All right, both of you easily pick up that. Okay, so she stands up first, and you're like, Rebecca, what are you doing in your minds? But you then immediately catch the look on her face and the direction her eyes are, pointed, and you too have already picked up there's something weird about those two in the corner, especially because they're also not even in the pews, they're sitting alone. And Raymond had that outburst earlier that Maggie addressed. So the fact that Rebecca stood up and is pointed like a hound in their direction, something is very much off, and you can see this extra bit of frustration and anger in her.
What are you doing, Sid? As I reach in her direction.
She's gonna step a little away.
What are you doing?
Dinah, you're still there if you want to give a quick roll for that too. I mean, you can only talk telepathy, whereas they can stop her, but you can pick up on it as well.
No, it's alright. Just watch. Mine is upset enough.
I'll say I gave everyone a low difficulty anyway. You'll probably like kind of at least see physically that she stands up, and Theo and Abraham go, wait, what?
Yeah, basically.
Are we doing things or are we just sitting here?
Also, time-wise, Maggie has started the bid on Teresa. The number started a lot higher, almost 1,000, and is creeping up higher and faster than it did for the recently turned humans.
Eat the popper. We will do something before they go anywhere, but we must... Information is the best weapon. We must... What are you doing?
He's a mage.
Don't get yourself killed. What? And I will relay that real quick.
And I think he's to Hector to Dinah for this guy.
This I think we can do something about, but not in the middle, not surrounded by people who would be at our throats.
You said Hector to Dinah?
That's her sire.
Because Dinah's got him ghouled,
No.
Hector. She's
Oh,
trying
I'm
to
sorry.
play.
No, never mind.
Hector is secretly Dinah's sire.
No, shut up.
Bloodbound. Bloodbound.
Are we saying...
Thank you.
Theo will think for clarity, is this that this guy is evil and that person is helping, or this person is good and that person is forcing them into it?
Are you trying to pick that up from Rebecca, or are you asking?
No, that's telepathic. Which
Okay.
way is this going? Because, like, if it's an evil person that's being twisted, who the fuck cares?
He doesn't give a shit about anyone except Raymond.
He's controlling. Oh. So we can save him. We could break this.
He doesn't
Perhaps.
give a shit about you or them.
That is how bloodbinding works.
Rebecca, real quick. Rebecca. I'm gonna tell you as Rebecca, you're not sure because you haven't seen it often, but you've heard about the way vampire blood can affect a mage. Like, you've heard it can even you should be able to sense that. You don't feel any of that from him. He feels independent and strong. You felt like his aura was a strong mage.
He's not compromised.
Even just from their body language, you also see that he's the one calming the other one down, not like not.
Regardless. And hey, is Theo bidding on Teresa? As a note, but and drawing the attention of every person in this room is not a way to save anyone. I do not want you to get hurt as much as I do not want them to get hurt.
We better
More.
get to the end. God damn it! I
Yes.
swear to God.
Maggie says out loud. All right, 4,000. Very nice. Is there? Let's go 6,000.
Theo raises the paddle in like a board, kind of like, are we really doing this? 6 grand? Seriously?
All right, Mr. B, as I've heard you been referred to this evening, we've got 6,000. You look a little bored, so, and I haven't been getting too many bids too easily. Let's just go ahead and up her to 10 then. Then Mr. B is sticking at 10. Let's double it to 20 then, if we are going that route.
I'm looking around like, are these people awake? Do they understand money?
I'm also looking around, but I'm gauging reactions.
There's a little bit of a pause, and then the one older Asian man puts his paddle up.
Theo smiles, like, okay, now it's getting fun. Paddle again.
No, she said 20. He raised it. So then she takes another little pause. Oh wait, no, she said 20 after his. Wait. He raised it 20.
Theo bet 10.
Yeah,
Asian bet 20.
He 20. So then she took a little pause, or she said 30, pause for a bit. Theo raises his paddle. Alright, if we're gonna keep going then, let's try 50. The Asian man, without any pause at that point, raises his paddle.
I'll glance at Abraham. He'll raise his paddle.
Okay, so
I will lose a dot of resources if that's what's necessary to save.
It doesn't.
these people.
You don't even need to. Like.
I know.
Right?
No.
Yeah,
That's how
but, like,
much
you
I'm
don't-
willing to spend.
No, but like you get to the point where it's time to trade resources, and then you just kill them and free the prisoner.
Theo loves this action. He just enjoys this whole idea. That's his plan. He's like, you're never going to see a drop of money. You might see the bottom of the river tonight, though.
alright, so that was 50. How about 70? There's a good few seconds of waiting. No one seems to raise their paddle. So then Maggie taps her gavel. Alright, so that'll be 50 to Mr. B for this lovely young lady. She has her head fully down, her hair covering her face at this point, shoulders slumped toward her chest, and just walks slowly back to the cage.
Huh.
Theo, by the end, this is going to go full up murder hobo.
I have a thing that I'm gonna try.
Uh-huh.
I just need to. I need to look at the dots and like look at wordings.
No problem. In the meantime, there is another young man walked out of the cage. Unfortunately, another one that Dinah recognizes. She knows that his name is Felipe. He's another one of the regulars that show up around Mardi Gras, and is usually in a small group of friends that she sees at her clubs.
All right. So first thing I'm gonna do, as the moment that Teresa turns around and gets led back, I want to read her aura.
Teresa's?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for that.
Versus 7, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a 0.
Okay, you don't really get anything specific, but you can tell obviously that she's, completely frightened, upset, and a little bit has kind of given in. She doesn't expect to walk out of this place.
All right. But just to be safe, I'm going to ask Dinah. This is important. Ask her. Read her aura. I need to know if she is being dominated or controlled in any way.
Alright.
And I don't specifically mean capital D dominated. I just mean
Yeah. Blood, aspects, perception, or
yeah.
blood, or...
Yeah.
Okay. Dinah, you don't feel any control. This just seems like someone who realizes she's surrounded by some horrifying elders. There are men with guns. There are elders out in the audience. She doesn't know what she could possibly do to get out of this.
No, she's genuine.
All right. So now I need to know what her willpower is.
Okay. Uh, 5.
All right. I'm going to try and telepathy her.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, that's plenty.
There you go. You see her in front of you in the cage, just take to like a back corner, sit down, slump, like knees pulled up to her chest.
So first there are surface thoughts. I'm sure what's going on. Just the same stuff.
Yeah, just that like kind of like, fuck, this is the end. Like I can't. I mean, there's a little panic thought of like, maybe I can run away when they try to take me off the boat, jump out in the water or something. Like, there is a little bit of resistance, but there's also a little bit looking around her like, I don't think there's anything I can fucking do.
All right. So then I am going to project my thoughts into her head and say, this is important. Think everything you know about your captors. Let me know and I might be able to help you.
You see her body freeze and her head like look up suddenly, hearing these thoughts in her head. Not as shocked as someone the first time hearing telepathy, but it's still new. She starts looking out in the crowd, trying to catch who might be talking to her.
I'm looking at the Baron at this point.
She realizes that whoever is talking to her isn't revealing themselves, so she pulls her legs a little closer again, kind of just shaking her head and tries to think loudly. I am just I don't know. It was dark. I've had
It's
like
okay. Relax. We are here for you.
Okay, I'll try to think of what I can, but I don't think I've actually seen anything you haven't already. It's just been these people and I mean, there were some other people, but I think they were just ghouls or peons. I haven't seen them here.
So you have no information about the people that took you, the people that are in control of this?
She starts trying to glance around the room without moving her head so she doesn't give anything away. And then after a couple of seconds, she says, the two on the side, I have seen them before.
Where?
When we were all together like this, they just came by. I don't even think they said anything, just looked and left.
And you were together like this in what way? When you are...
This cage.
All right, well, there are people out here for you, not in the way that the auction is going, so...
You're gonna get us out of here?
That is the attempt, that is the plan, hopefully.
Her mind goes quiet, but since you're still connected, you can feel like that white fuzz of just like anxiety and still that slight hope of planning to even fucking jump off the boat if she could.
And actually I will say, what are you capable of if this comes to something emergent?
Obviously not anything strong against these people. I've tried a couple things and I either got staked or hurt or something, but if I can get out of here, I'm quick. I can probably make it on my own.
All right, just... Like I will just kind of give a telepathic nod.
She kind of goes back to fuzz, just quiet anxiety and little hope, though, like lingering in the back of her mind. Well, front of her mind.
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately, and then I will share with Theo and people. She does not seem to know anything about her captors.
And as you've had a bit of this conversation, the numbers have started sneaking up for Felipe. Very similar to Teresa. It seemed that Maggie announced...
Did you say what Jenny was?
Yeah, so Teresa, she said she was not 100% sure, but believed she was at least 9th, if not preferable. And she used the word preferable. And then as Felipe was walked on the stage, she said, I believe we have another of the same here.
I mean, I think Theo's just waiting, like watching very hard for anything, trying to suss out the sense of this, because he even knows. He's like, 50 grand, like what? He's like, I borrowed that much from Abe and never paid it back. No problem.
Well, because it's not a commodity. It's a farmer's market, basically. It's like this happens on a regular basis. This must.
No, but Theo doesn't get that.
Gotcha.
So Theo's trying to work out, like,
he's like,
on.
So cheap.
Yeah, he's like, he's just now figuring out, wait, the fuck? Like, did I really just buy a vampire of the 9th generation, which isn't impressive anyway? He's like, they said there were special treats. He's just, like, trying to work through it, and if Abe's paying any attention, like, Theo's clearly lost, looking for, like, where's the gotcha?
So, the auction continues for Felipe. And if none of our group are going, the bid continues between specifically Tessa, the debutante. There's another man there that bids a couple times. Raymond, off on the side as a note, continues to look agitated but is remaining calm and quiet to himself. And again, once the numbers start reaching the higher points, the older Asian man finally starts putting up his paddle. And after a bit of contention, he finally wins the young kindred for 40k. And Maggie kind of bangs her gavel and says, "All right, then the young man goes to Mr. Chang." Hey, Dinah? You remember that name?
From where?
P.F. Chang's, obviously.
He's the P in P.F. Chang's.
Yeah.
Your private conversation with Marcel about the kindred from Tennessee.
Oh, right.
Oh, sorry. She did say Dr. Chang, not Mr.
Can I? Okay. Well, Dinah definitely looks around for whoever that is. Which guy is it?
There's a man, an older Asian man, in the first pew, who, like, as you've been paying attention, had been raising his gavel only at the higher numbers. He's been waiting, like, just quietly because he knew the low numbers would be bid on, and he's just been waiting until the points where someone was like, where people started going, I don't know. So he bought this young man for 40k.
Can I have a composure roll on that one?
I was gonna say, you're definitely getting a frenzy roll on that.
I mean, luckily I'm a ghost.
You still have a physical form back on the boat, and the beast is separate from you.
Oh shit!
Oh god, are you gonna go full white on us?
No, not if I can find my way back to my body.
No, I mean, your body could take over you in this situation. You're
But I would literally snap back into the body.
Self-control against 5. But, I mean, at least, like, Luther could throw you in the water.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Roxy is on the boat.
I'm gonna actually, can I at least give some kind of clue, like, even before I roll this, of like even if it's just a split second of, like, oh, he's here, and like that's it.
I mean,
okay.
So I've got an open telepathic link, and could I at least have picked up the emotion of surprise? Like,
surprise and a deep punch of hatred.
I need Dinah's roll first, then I'll answer you.
Abe. You said
self-control against 5.
Okay. Yeah, no, I did okay. I got 2. I could have easily not gone that way.
So, Dinah, you hear Maggie refer or say that Dr. Chang just won this person. Immediately, the name and the description of the guy, the second you actually, like, take a second and look at him, confirms to yourself that this is the one that Marcel told you about, and you feel the beast in your chest, like, immediately bang against, you know, the bars of its metaphorical cage, in rage, along with your own personal emotions. Abraham, because you're holding the strongest telepathic link between everybody, you do get a sudden, like, Dinah just skirted a frenzy. Theo and Rebecca, since you're kind of in the link and you're paying attention to Dinah as much as you can, you feel at least the slight shudder of Dinah's emotions rising frantically. Luther, even though you haven't been in the closest loop, you've been hearing things, and you even actually see Dinah's physical body shake slightly. She was slumped. You actually see her kind of go like this, like once, in a very solid movement of, like, if she was awake, kind of like anger, like slapping someone almost, but her body doesn't otherwise move.
Hey, real quick warning. Pretty bad lightning storm just popped up.
I was like, did someone just drop, like, a fridge in the house?
So, pretty bad lightning storm going on right now. So, if something happens, just so you guys know. We'll try to be back.
We've made it to midnight. Like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, okay.
But, so for the group, basically everybody knows something has extremely riled Dinah up. Abraham, you have the most clued in fact. You don't know exactly what it was, but you know you felt that, like, growl of a beast almost come from the back of her mind.
Are you okay?
He's here. He's here. The one who killed my sire.
I am sorry.
I'm not. I didn't think I would see him for a long time.
Magdalene happily claps her hands together after Felipe is taken back to his cage. Says, well, we're just moving along, aren't we? Let's get the next one out.
Next one.
Mr. B raises an eyebrow.
What do you mean?
Thought
Next
there were
one.
2.
Yeah, you said there were 2.
There are 2 that Dinah recognized directly. There are 5 in the cage. The one brought out now is a tall, slender but muscular black man, very, very dark skin, like looks far more Southern African than anything else. And he's brought up onto the stage. His body language is, while he doesn't seem to fight his captors, is remarkably kind of defiant, as if someone walking to the chopping block, like knowing that they did no wrong and will be remembered otherwise, that sort of feeling. He's brought up onto the stage, and Maggie looks so elated when she starts announcing this one. Now, I haven't confirmed, but this is definitely a friend of ours from the East, and I think this one might, in fact, be at least... She kind of, like, taps her little fingernails on the podium. Definitely at least 8th, if not 7th. And the 4 of you in the room can see the crowd kind of like sit up, like one of the better items in an auction was finally brought out.
All right. Well.
I'm 8th.
So I'm
bidding.
gonna, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try and see what he can bring to the table in this dramatic escape attempt. So that's another intelligence subterfuge.
Yep, go ahead.
Just gotta make sure I got the right number. 7. What's his willpower? I think is what I need to know.
8.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Oh shit.
Hey, roll that 10.
Nah, that's 1 success.
And what were you guys trying to read again?
I'm trying to reach into his mind as well and say,
right.
Hey, like I want to talk to him.
All right. Abraham, you're able to reach into his mind. Go ahead.
What was that roll, Elvish? Are you doing the same?
No, I was rolling a willpower to not immediately pop back to the boat with and be like, let's go fuck shit up, I'm done.
Hey.
I will. So I will reach in. If we were to pose an escape attempt, what would you bring to the table?
There is a momentary pause. You can tell that the man picked up on your voice. It seems more calculating. And then just in a quiet, accented voice, I'm not gonna really try to do it because I'm bad at African accents. But not the same as yours, but something you recognize. He says, "Who are you?"
I oppose this farce, and I am trying to solve it.
How do I know this isn't a trick?
Do you get off? Does this make things worse for you if it is a trick? You are still captured even if it is a trick, but if it is not, I might help.
There's another slight pause, and then the man answers again. I am quite capable, despite the circumstances. I know it may look like I am just fodder, but if there is some sort of planned action, I can certainly help. What exactly is it you mean by what can I do?
What can you do? What disciplines do you have? What skills do you have? I have a few people here that might be able to help. None of us agree with what is going on here.
Certainly physical actions are easier for me. Guns make that a little more difficult, and you see his head just barely glance in the direction of the 2 guards, just to make the point of it. But, if I have help, if there's a concerted effort, I'm not the only one trying to deal with 5 or 10 people on my own. Trust me, I can help.
What do you know of your captors?
Not very much. And again, you see almost an imperceptible kind of like lean of his head in the direction of Raymond and Carson. I've seen those 2 before, and the young girl, obviously, that is leading this auction. Other than that, it seems peons. If there's no problem with killing humans or ghouls or whatever needs to be done, I have no problem.
I would prefer to keep this quiet outside of the boat, as would the rest of my allies here.
And I would prefer to not be on this stage, but we don't always get
Yes.
what we want.
I will keep your skills in mind when we make this happen. Know there are people out here that are nominally on your side.
Know this. I would rather die getting off this boat than have my soul taken.
Telepathic nod.
Right?
And then reach back into my friends' minds and say, this one is strong. He is a fighter.
So, the bidding begins and continues for this man. This one, after Maggie's announcement and everyone seeing the strength of his character, the bidding skyrockets. While all of you, or at least particularly Theo and Abraham, who were like, 50K for a person's soul? That's like insulting. It starts reaching high into the hundreds of thousands. It's starting to sneak toward millions, and while not going immediately into the multi-millions, people are not exactly slowing down, and Maggie is just beginning to grin wider and wider as the numbers sneak higher and higher for what is obviously a lower generation strong kindred.
I will ask, how did they subdue you? If you are as old as you are.
I can tell you I'm not actually that old. I'm just capable, but I guess not as much as their group. I'm afraid I can't actually remember anything before I woke up in the cage. And you hear genuine, like, embarrassment and just sadness in his voice that this happened and he couldn't control it.
Right.
There's even, like, kind of a sudden stop of his voice. Not that he's, like, kind of cutting you off, but, like, he doesn't want that line of talk anymore.
Yep.
So the bid continues for a while. It heads into about 2 million, 2.5. Maggie looks like she's trying to decide how much higher to jump it. She's having a hell of a fun time. She tries for 4 million after a jump from 2.5. And at that point, Tessa, the debutante, does raise her paddle after having waited for a little while. It seems almost like she's intrigued by how much everybody else was about to spend. Several of the others have been keeping their paddles low, though. It doesn't seem like they're willing to spend that much, even though he's lower gen.
Theo will look at Abraham.
Yep. Go ahead.
No, but when he looks, it's a very much like, we have one, do we need more?
He is old. He's not old. He's strong. He could help.
All right, I raise the paddle.
Also, anything that makes them makes these people unhappy is a good thing in my book.
Mental grinning.
Yeah, just a little bit of angry pettiness.
All right. Just before we continue this scene, I'm going to take one more little break in our game. I do actually need to check in with Luther again.
Yeah.
So we're going to take another little break. Check in with Luther, and this might not wrap tonight. I was aiming for it, but, you know, I want this to play out the way it does, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll be back here in just a couple minutes.
Yeah, sorry about being late, everyone. I work went a little crazy.
It's okay. It made me a little bit. It made me feel better that I was late. You know. But no need to apologize.
Yeah, I've gotten some recent additional responsibilities, and unfortunately, those responsibilities are like an hour and 40 minutes away from home.
Yeah, that's what Spiro was saying. Say you hit a big speed bump of poop.
Shit happens. I mean, if it was easy, they wouldn't pay me to do it.
Work called me up yesterday and was like, "Hey, can you work tomorrow?" I was like, "Can I be home by 6?" They're like, "Yeah, you'll be fine as long as you don't hit anything stupid." And I was like, "That doesn't sound good." And then I got a text later.
You just taunted the sirens at this point. You're like, you just asked for it.
And then I got a text later being like, "Hey, we added a stop." And I was like, am I still good? They're like, "Yeah." I was like, all right. I go and I look, and it's a fucking like 800-pound refrigerator that I need to go put into a house. I'm like, fuck you guys. What? I specifically told you I need to be off by a certain time, and you put that bullshit on there. Company is now.
Oh, there's no music.
We'll fix it in a sec. I have one store with 2 people, so their schedule looks like this: open to close Monday through Sunday, or Monday through Sunday. That's it.
God, those hours though, I'm kind of jealous.
Right, that's why I was. Are they commission based or are they purely hour based?
They're both. It's a hybrid, so it's commission and hourly. So they're getting a lot of overtime.
Good for them.
I mean, yeah, like money works for a certain amount of time, but
right?
Burnout is real, and like
for sure.
Yeah, but they're good. They're good people. I'd rather hold on to them and not just burn through them and then have to rehire because like they're sinking around through some bad situations. And like I appreciate people like that. I hear
saying they don't hear the music. Yeah, I hear the music too.
But we hear it through Roll20. They might not hear it through Spira's Roll20 or stream.
Yeah, I don't hear it through Twitch or Roll20, but that's because I have the volume all the way down always.
I'm gonna go use the Wiz Palace real fast. I'll be right back.
The Tinkle Tent.
Tent? I've never heard of the Tinkle Tent before. I like it.
The Urination Station.
I was gonna follow up with the Urination Station. you only get one, okay?
You don't get to take all the good ones, all right?
For anybody who's watching live, I'm sorry if you can't hear the music. We're actually gonna do a little we're gonna play around with some stuff because I've had some comments on YouTube where people say the music is too loud, whereas most people on Twitch say they can't hear it. So like I need to figure out how OBS records music, because if it's from Roll20 for the recording, that's definitely going to be a lot louder than what I have set for Twitch. So we'll play around. You know, we got a lot better about our technical difficulties, but we're still figuring shit out.
Yeah.
Sorry if you can't hear anything. You know, I can give you music recommendations if you want.
Yes, let's just tell people, like, we'll make a playlist and tell people what to make on Spotify.
I have plenty of Vampire the Masquerade playlists if people want. I just try to play stuff that fits the mood when we actually play.
That just makes so much sense. No, we'll be super artsy. We'll make Spotify playlists and tell people to go and tune into it. And then
switch to playlist number 7.
Exactly.
And
track number 8 on repeat for 30 minutes.
The best part is then we can do copyrighted music.
Exactly.
We're not playing it officially.
Exactly.
We're playing it through a service that is authorized to play that music.
The weird thing is OBS is saying it still recognizes it, but at like minus 60 decibels, but I can hear it and I don't want to turn it up on Twitch and then the recording is like blasting music. So anyway, we'll figure it out for next time on Game Grumps. Sorry, anyway.
On Dragon Ball Z.
Coast does vape. Coast used to smoke, quit for a while, then got a really stressful job with a lot of driving involved. Which was my crutch while smoking was my driving thing. So instead of going back to cigarettes, he went back to like low nicotine vape juice.
Which Spira much prefers because she does not like smoky stuff. I like wood smoke, natural smokes, but I don't like burny stick things.
I used to smoke Black and Milds, and they fucking smell terrible.
I didn't know people actually smoke Black and Milds after the age of 21. I thought it was just like you broke it up to make like a blunt.
I like them every once in a while.
He liked them because he just wanted something to smoke for like 30 minutes on his hour-long drive, which I was
Yeah, I
like,
like
fair
them
enough.
because they took forever to smoke. And I
It's
hate
best,
cigarettes. Which
It's
is weird.
Bessie.
Hey, Revolver.
Ooh,
Hey,
red.
Revolver.
Smoke
I
it.
was,
Also,
how's-
smoking's not cool, kids. Don't do it. Vaping including, it's still bad.
Well, yeah, let's all agree smoking's bad and we don't condone it unless they want to sponsor us.
And the same with all the drinking you see us do. It's very terrible. Don't do it.
I'll sell out, guys. I don't give a fuck.
I'll still up for booze, but not cigarettes.
I don't know. If Newports wanted
depends
to...
on how. Yeah, depends on how much they want to sell out for.
Exactly. Yeah, don't say that. Any
It'd
cigarette
have to be a fucking lot because I've never liked cigarettes. I'm
They
okay
got the
with
money.
I'm okay with liquid poison, but which
Just the
might
fact
be
that
my
we're
taste.
saying this probably like irks them more. They're like, yeah, let's fucking non-smoking kids. Let's get them.
I mean, if I could bait someone into like a several $million contract, I'm in.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, so there's on average 6 of us on stream, so it seems like 6 mil is a good way to divide everything.
No.
Per episode.
Here's the thing, though. See, like, Newports are for people who've already been smoking. We need to call Camel, because those are the ones that get those new kids.
Oh, the little poppers, and no, at that point, just like get like a vape company.
That's true, actually. Anyway, all right. No, I know we're waiting for Hope to come back, but scene is for Luther anyway, so not this music. I love this music, but it's not this music.
And no, not for $20.
So, back in the speedboat along the shoreline with Luther, Roxy, and Jake. They all know that Christopher and Anthony are also along the shoreline, but they're keeping the head of the front. And there are 3 gangrel with specifically hat, cough, half mariner abilities for you BTM fans. Jake starts looking more uncomfortable. Luther and Roxy being more chatty and social and charismatic continue some conversation on. But as it goes along, Luther, you suddenly realize Jake has gone very sullen and just been staring out at the water for a while.
Hey, Jake, you doing all right over there, pal?
He very slowly turns his head in your direction and says, I think one of my friends might be on that boat, and I don't mean as a guest.
Oh, look, how do you know that?
He kind of like turns his head, cracking his neck a little, and sighs, saying, he went missing around the same time as some of the other humans and kindred that have been on the prince's list, and he was just visiting the city. Seems the right MO, and I mean, he's been a close friend of mine for a long time. He wouldn't just not tell me where he was, that he was leaving or anything, and he he went missing from the same area as everyone was picked up at.
All right. What? Give me a description. Give me a name. Give me everything you know about him. I'll check it out with Dinah. All right. What does he look like? Let's start there.
Jake gives a bit of a manual exhale from some air he'd breathed in from the cold night and says, his name's Khotun. He's from Africa. I mean, he's been in the States for a long time, but he's originally from there. Full accent and everything. Wiry guy. Well, I guess not wiry. Skinny with some tight muscles. You know those cable wire muscles. Someone who actually works hard but doesn't eat that much. And,
Old man strength. I got you.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Just worked hard without enough to fill his belly, kind of guy. And I mean, you know the look of the man. He had basically shaved hair except for a little bit of a dreadlocks he had down the middle of his head, almost like a mohawk. He like tries to think about it. Never wore anything too fancy. Simple shirt and pants.
Hey, all right, Jack. All right, hold on. And I'll kind of crouch down next to Dinah. Dinah, I need you to look for a real kind of African brother that should be in there. That's wiry muscles. Yeah, I don't know. There couldn't be too many. But if you hear me, let me know. And if you see him, it's one of Jake's friends. All right.
Is this the guy that's up on the stage?
He just left, I thought.
Yep.
No, we're still bidding on him. I just put 5 mil on this guy.
4 mil. You don't have to waste all my money.
This guy? It's this guy.
Yep.
This guy.
By description, and that there's no one else on the boat that looks like that. Even especially the second he mentions the hair. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, I can talk to Luther. Okay. Yeah, they're trying to buy him back.
Excuse me?
Oh, did I not tell you the auction started? I'm sorry. I'm very upset. And the one who killed my sire is here.
Jesus.
And I can't do a damn thing.
The Luther will kind of look at Jake since he doesn't know he could just think it. He has to say it out loud. He's just gonna be like, "That's Jake's friend, Dinah. That's hey."
Yeah.
Hold on. The second you say that out loud, Luther, Jake's going to stand in the boat. Now you're by a shallow end of the shore, or shallow end of the river, so it does rock the boat. Doesn't do anything toward tipping it, but it definitely shakes it heavily, and even Roxy like grabs it slightly. Hey, Jake, calm down.
Jake, hey, this we're gonna buy him. We're gonna
The hell you mean you're gonna buy him?
I don't know, but he's ours. All right, we ain't gonna let anyone put a hand on him. He's gonna be with us the whole time.
Jake barks loudly. How the fucking we should just get over there now and deal with this.
No, Jake, you can't survive that, right? Dinah, we can't just barge in there. Please answer quickly.
People.
Dinah, you know what? I'm not gonna make you roll because Jake has low willpower. You could reach out to him if you want directly, or you can just keep talking to Luther.
Oh, I can't. Oh, what the fuck? Yes, of course I can. Jake.
What?
Jake, can you hear me?
He looks around a little surprised because he was in a very kind of panicked mode. The fuck?
Jake, it's Dinah.
He looks down at the body and then calms down after a second, very slowly starts to sink down to the boat, which also you saw Roxy start to raise up and like kind of gently put a hand on his forearm to bring him back down. Yeah.
Jake, it's Dinah. Believe me, I want nothing more than to rush in and kill everyone here. But we won't find out who did it if we do that. It's making me disgusted to watch it. I can't do a damn thing while I'm like this.
Looking at
Luther,
Luther,
got your friend.
looking at Luther, he says aloud, "She hear me?"
Yeah, she can hear you.
Alright, then why don't we just fucking kill him now? And Luther, you see Roxy kind of just roll her eyes, but turn her head so Jake doesn't see it.
Jake, look, man, we can't do that. the whole point of this was to, just get information so this thing never happens again. We can't just go in there. If we just run in there and blow everything up, they're just gonna go and do this again and again and again with more security. We need to make sure we fully capture this and knock it down. We can't go in there right now.
This isn't even an exclusive event, Luther. This is just like they could do this anytime. This is just for fun.
Thanks, Dinah.
Jake leans forward after sitting down again, digging his fingers into his knees. You see his eyes close tightly, his nostrils flare, his jaw tighten. But through all those motions, you can see he's just keeping himself from doing anything dramatic.
Can I do like an empathy roll of just like, I don't want to use any magic or anything, but just like of being a friend?
Oh, absolutely.
Calm him down.
Yeah, you can do empathy perception for reading. You can do charisma or manipulation, whichever is higher, and empathy to actually talk to him. Let me know if it's charisma or manipulation, though, because it's different.
Charisma.
Okay, then that's going to be sweet talking. Which I figured.
No, I hit the back button.
Ah!
Oh, yeah.
Alright, give me that
6 successes.
sweet empathy, Luther. You sweethearted soul.
Jake, I know, man. It's not something easy, and my friends are on that boat too, and it's not something that we deal with every day, but I need you to just buckle down here with me, all right? And we're going to get through this, and we're going to get your friend out of there. What was his name again?
Cartoon.
We're going to get Cartoon off there, man. We got Abe and we got Rebecca on there, and they are going to handle this. Okay. Yeah. We're going to get them out of there. Maybe not all of them, not as much as we should, but we're going to get your friend out of there. All right. And he's going to walk up and put like a hand on his shoulder and get kind of close and be like, I need you here right now. All right. Not running in there. I need you right here.
Roxy also kind of readjusts herself from sitting a couple feet away from him to like sitting against his lap and puts an arm around his shoulder and nods along with everything you're saying without specifically saying anything more, and then gives him a little kind of punch on the side of his shoulders, like, I ain't gonna let these fuckers take your friend. Jake looks still unsure, but definitely calmer.
And Jake, I just want to put this out here. Last time Theo saw something maybe 10% as bad, he murdered the whole room. So the night's still young. He might just go and kill all of them, and then we get to jump in there. All right. But until then, we have to sit right here. And we have to do our goddamn job. All right.
Just as you say that, you see Jake's hands that were clenched to white knuckle relax a little, and he laughs and says, "Not unless I'm fucking there."
That's right, man. And if he does, Dinah will jump right here and she'll tell us, and we'll all go in there together. All right. You leading the way. I might be in the back, but we'll do it. We'll do it.
Roxy gives him a large grin and says, "Come on, we're on a speedboat. Take us about 5 seconds to get over there and start slitting throats."
5 seconds, please. I'll get over there in 3. I guarantee it.
She puts a hand out, pointing a little bit. See? 5 seconds.
You all right, Jake? You calming down?
He runs his fingers over his own, ponytail dreadlocks and just sighs manually. Yeah, no, of course not. But yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to I know this is a
Hey.
delicate mission. You can't just fucking fly off the handle on this shit. I mean, that man's been one of my closest friends for a long time. I can't fucking think about someone fucking eating them.
Luther picks up a fishing pole and puts it in his hands. I know, man. But that's not going to happen tonight. All right. I need you to sit here, be nice and calm, and we're gonna get your buddy out of there.
Jake laughs a little manically when you put the fishing pole in his hand. He says, I appreciate that, Luther. I can't fucking concentrate on anything else. Just let me just listen to the water and no screams, hopefully, and I'll keep myself calm.
Attaboy. You sit there and you do whatever you need to do, and Roxy and I'll be here if you need us. All right.
All right. Thank you, man.
No. Thank you, man. You're here just like all of us.
So back on the boat. As our cast and crew of Theo, Rebecca, and Ghost Dinah are continuing to watch the auction continue, Cowtoon's numbers continue rising. They've reached now 12 million, recently bid on by the same Asian doctor. So Maggie squeaks out saying, well, if we're gonna keep going this way, how about 15?
Theo definitely glances hard at Abraham.
Do it is special. Oh wait, so did Dinah bring this to our attention?
I will in a second. This is that guy is one of Jake's friends.
Absolutely. Do not. This is. Hopefully, we don't have to pay it in the end anyway.
Listen up, let me tell you how this is a story of you going bankrupt.
I know exactly what Abraham's net worth is. I know what I'm doing.
Theo has no fucking clue. It's like 15 million. He's like, I couldn't even get that many ducks into my house. What? He's like, even as babies, that's not possible. How? Because for Theo, $1 is a duck. It's fine.
If you get a duck for $1, then you're gonna have a hard time fitting all those ducks.
That's where Theo's brain is like, how do you even move that much money? You would need so many duffel bags.
That many bucks? That's crazy. That's crazy.
If she had said the word bucks to him, he'd be like, wait, full-grown male deer? How do you get like a semi-truck, like a fleet of trucks, surely? How do you keep them from hurting each other? What happens if it's rut season? How do you spend?
They die.
That would be amazing.
They die.
We'll do that offline as like a YouTube special. It'll just be 10 minutes of you trying to work Theo through what 15 million is.
So after Theo bids 15, Maggie raises it to 20. Theo, you especially notice Tessa, the debutante, kind of glance your way with a very odd expression, almost kind of between like, let's have fun, and she raises her paddle for 20.
No, she fucked with Theo's ego. Why did she have to fuck with Theo's ego?
What did she say?
No, Tessa said nothing. She just looked over at Theo, who was sitting behind her, smiled, and then raised her paddle for the 20 million.
Theo's just gonna like, fuck. Like, he doesn't wait for a new number.
So Maggie kind of says, all right, 20 million for Tessa, and, Theo's, sorry, Mr. B, I didn't say another number, but, if you want the next one, it would have obviously been 25. I was trying to be nice. Would we like 30 from anyone in the crowd?
Mr. B's like,
Alright, that's 30. I'm not gonna stop anytime soon, but let's, move this along. So how about 50 million? There's a little bit of a pause, but Tessa then raises her paddle again.
Does she look back at all?
No.
Theo throws a finger at her.
Alright, so 50 million to Miss Tessa. And if we're gonna keep going, I'm not gonna drag this out too long, so let's say 75 million.
I said what I said.
He needs reassurance now.
Peter is actively paling now, but he gives a psychic nod of assent.
Theo is looking like, what is 75 mil? Can you have that much? Is that allowed?
Aram's gonna fucking be like, on ramen for just a week.
The 50 million is literally 20% of his gross income, or his net worth.
I was gonna say, what? That's it? You're good.
Yeah,
I think 50 million a month is fine. I was like, okay, Warren Buffett, relax. Theo, looks at the paddle and, raises it. And he's like, I don't even know the logistics of transporting this amount of money. There must be some sort of teleportation involved.
No. He's gonna do it all in ones.
Pennies.
Yeah, that's what I meant. One cent pieces.
No. Construction truck just shows up, dumps about 75 million. Anyway, so Theo very slowly raises his paddle for 75 million. Maggie is just the most frightening smile you've ever seen on a child, and says, well, alright, I don't think we're getting that much more, but just as a tester, 85 million. And after a long pause, she nods at the crowd and says, that'll be it then. And she bangs the gavel and says, 75 million for the African.
I'm a bad person, but my first thought is, okay, Jake, you owe me a lot of money now.
Zibani, did you hear my last quote?
Yeah.
Maggie said 75 million for the African.
Like it is everything Abraham has to not actively be squeaking, just that.
Actually, you know what? Self-control against 4. Love you.
I'm finding out what my self-control is. Okay, it's not awful.
I didn't even mean that, but I said it in Maggie's tone, and I went, oh shit, Abraham, that would be a malicious taunt.
Oh my god.
Alright, Abraham, you deal with it, but you are
Peter
on fire inside.
Peter is ghostly pale.
On fire inside. Alright, so Cowtun is walked back to the cage, and within a couple of moments, one of the last 2 people inside the cage is walked out. As Maggie starts her explanation as usual, she says that this person, none of you don't even have to roll, do not recognize this person at all. You don't even recognize the other person. The last 2, you don't know. But they walk the second to last person out. Maggie explains this person is also probably 7th or 8th generation, and begins another bidding round. This person looks more downtrodden than the last, though, so there's less of that fever or fervor that the crowd had for the really strong, confident prisoner. Money still goes up high and quick, but not as strong as it was for Cowtun.
If Abraham's paying attention, Theo is desperately trying to figure out how you get that much weight in gold anywhere. He's like, wait, what? How many horses does it take to pull a how many guards do you have to hire to move? He's just like stuck.
So, as before, bidding continues, sneaking up and up and up. At this point, Rebecca, Theo, Abraham, Dinah, you're on the boat. You're visually aware of what's been happening. You know at this point, just as a quick catch up, that most of the human recently turned kindred have all been bought by kindred around. I can remind you later who bought them. Theo purchased officially Teresa. The other person that Dinah knew was bought by Dr. Chang, and Kowtoon was also saved by Theo. There are now 2 other people left. Unless you guys kind of have a very specific thing you were going to do, if you're going to like continue trying to buy another one of these 2 people, I can just say that the bidding continues.
Let's just correct this to they were saved by Abraham.
Hey, real quick, I just want to say,
I'm
Abraham,
saying in visual, they were saved by the Baron.
Abraham literally just spent 2 tons of gold.
Yeah,
2
no.
metric
Okay.
tons.
Literally, Abraham saved them via Theo pretending to be the Baron Samedi, is what we'll say.
But yeah, he just spent 2 metric tons of gold. Which you could fit on a semi, like, that's
hurt.
doable.
That would hurt to be under.
That would literally, like, all right, it's not the semi, it's how many tanks are gonna escort that semi down the road. Like at least 1 APC and a couple Humvees.
No. So what you do to circumvent that is you separate it onto like 1,500 tanks. And then you don't have to have a escort.
I don't know why, but I was expecting you to say 1,500 Hyundais. Like, just put small chunks in every, like, run-of-the-mill car.
Yeah, 1,500 Hyundais. There you go.
So, the bidding continues for the next person. It hits about 40 mil as several members of the rest of the kindred in the auction continue trying to like outbid each other. Even as like a show of face, it's the last 2, and it's the fancier cage, and the Baron's already got 2 of them. The Baron can't take all of them, right? But if the Baron stays quiet, it still kind of drives them to say like, I've got to get a couple of these nicer kindred. The second to last, as I said, was still like a 7th to 8th generation, and that hits about 40 mil. The guy looks a little like downtrodden, so people aren't as excited as they were for the previous one. But the last person is trotted out, and Maggie says that they know for an absolute fact that they are 7th generation and at least a couple 100 years on their belt. The person looks a little wide-eyed and confused about where they are. Maggie makes no mention of that. If anyone wants to roll for more details, let me know.
I'm going to try and, especially the ones that are known to be 7th gen, I'm going to try and reach out to each of them and say, what do you have to bring? What do you know about your captors? I am trying to save people.
Abraham, you can try and reach out to this last young woman at 9.
Woo! Alright, and it's intelligence subterfuge. I'll spend a willpower.
Plot twist, it's the little girl's sire.
Oh, that would be great news. That would be great news, because that means that I'm older, or that I'm higher or lower gen than the little girl, which means I can dominate her. That's 2 successes.
You just connect with this kindred's mind. Tell me what you're gonna say.
I'm trying to save people. What do you know of your captors?
And you see, as you hear this in your mind, the head, like, just start looking around the room as if they were looking at a complicated puzzle. Who are you?
Do not worry about it. Do not show that you hear me. Just, I am here to save people.
What?
I am somewhere in the crowd. Do not look for me. I am not looking at you. I am not looking for you. Just let me know what you know about your captors. I am trying to save you.
Save me from what?
You are... What? The people around you. What do you know of them? The people outside of the cage. The little girl, the two men. Have you seen them before?
She starts looking around at the people closest to her as you sort of instructed. As you sort of instructed, she looks at the people closest to her, but then even also looks out in the crowd and says, I don't know any of these people. Who are you?
Do you know nothing of this little girl?
She turns toward Maggie, who's just smiling at her, and says, No, I think I've seen her before. Who is she? Abraham, go ahead and roll me perception awareness.
I immediately started looking for my dice. Like you said, roll me, and I'm like, where am I? Like, versus 6.
Mm-hmm.
Kablam. Ooh. Wow. Nope. I ain't got nothing.
Roll it at 7. She'll continue asking confused questions. Alright, as you continue conversating with the last woman on the stage, a very younger woman, like, you, almost hard to tell her age, anything between 17 and 21, has that, like, kind of vague age about her, hard to tell. You keep trying to ask her questions, and it starts feeling more and more confused. Then you start trying to, like, tap into, like, who she is. You're not 100% sure, but this young woman is either a Malkavian that is confused, or a kindred with some other kind of derangement, or had her mind wiped. You're not exactly sure exactly what's going on, but you know her mind's not safe or capable of understanding what's going on right now. She's on the stage without any recollection or understanding what's going on.
Theo can get through to her.
Give me just real quick. I need to look at dice.
If the telepathy is still there, Theo would be like, ask her what size shoe her cat wears. He gets these people.
Just give me a second.
Yeah.
That was self-control to see if I can just let her go. I will ask her what size shoe her cat wears. But other than that, I'm gonna cut.
But that was above table.
Oh, that was not. Okay. If Theo actually asked that, I'd be like, maybe he knows what he's doing. I don't know.
Theo knows what he's what? It has infected
You have made
too.
it how many 100 years?
Hut-
You know what you're doing. You're just crazy.
Ducklings, I totally get out of character jokes, but Theo, I need to know the difference. Because sometimes some things you say as a joke are things you would say as Theo. Please clarify.
That's fair enough, but Theo was trying desperately to hold it together for this one occasion.
Okay.
That said, that willpower or that self-control was to step away and just let the connection drop, because I don't think she's gonna help, and I feel bad because she's kind of like a child right now, and that feels awful. But I rolled amazing.
Alright, so the bid on her finally ends at 50 mil to one of the other male kindreds in the room that none of you interacted with specifically. You don't know his name. He's seated near the front. So the auction basically comes to an end, and Maggie, standing at the front, says, "Alright!" as the guard leads the last one back to the cage and again marks his hand for who bought him, or who bought the last woman. Well, that will conclude the actual auction, and of course all of your cargo will be properly transported either to your vehicles if you prefer. We can bring them to you later. The payments will be arranged later this evening, but for now, let's go enjoy the rest of the night. And the guards kind of like almost point for the door that leads back down to the first parlor.
All right, so what is the plan?
We chit-chat in the parlor.
We need to find who's in charge. That's the entire point where we let this
Yes.
get.
They're
I'll
still on the
follow
boat. The boat is being watched. We chit-chat in the parlor unless we hear from anyone that there's been movement.
We follow the big three.
Yeah, I'll follow them around.
Someone get the girl.
Yeah, the
I'm not
only three
taking
that
my
you
eyes
know.
off this fucking mage.
I'll follow the girl. I don't think she can see me anyway.
I want to talk to her more.
Hey, Spira.
Yeah.
I have looked,
Uh-huh.
and I have not specifically found anything one direction or another.
Uh-huh.
If someone fails a dominate, the person becomes immune to the effects for either a scene or for like the rest of however billion years. Do they know that has been attempted?
At least as far as I play the games, I think it's mentioned somewhere in one of the billion books about that. But definitely from my just general understanding of ETM and how I play things, if a supernatural ability that isn't an obvious one like celerity or something you saw in front of you, a mental or emotionally affecting one like dominate, presence, aspects, if it's used, and especially if it fails, I tend to have the NPC. Well, it depends on the NPC. Okay, let me say this in one sentence. If a PC uses a mental or emotionally affecting discipline like aspects, presence, dominate, and it fails, I take into account the NPC involved. If I think they have high enough perception, alertness / awareness, or anything else involved that might make them sense an ability being tried against them, I will at least still make them roll. I won't just say like they knew immediately, but I'll have them roll. And so if it's a younger kindred or a higher gen that might not know better, maybe I'll just not even bother. but especially against elders, and it fails, I tend to take into account that they may have noticed a thing being tried on them that fizzled out. If that's what you were asking.
Alright, cool. So, maybe.
Can I know why you're asking?
I was going to theoretically consider trying to dominate her to see if I could even possibly get anywhere. Because if she's 6th gen, I literally am worthless here.
Who's her? Who?
One of the 3 people that is the most, Maggie.
Oh,
The little
okay.
girl.
You can try if you want.
So now it's solidly a maybe.
Hey, can I do something?
Yes, Rebecca. So yeah, no, like now you're seeing everybody in the room other than, say, Maggie, Raymond, Carson, and obviously everyone in the cages, and the guards. Well, the guards are like flanking the sides of the room, but specifically Maggie, people in the cages, Raymond and Carson haven't moved directly, but all the other kindred and their ghouls are starting to head back into the parlor for like secondary party.
Yeah. Life 3, Prime 2. Rebecca is going to make Carson have to go to the bathroom.
Hey!
Like,
we get
literally,
back to-
she's gonna fill his bladder full of urine. Like,
Hey, we're getting back to early New Orleans.
That's what I'm saying. I love it.
yeah, yes.
That this has happened
But this isn't a dominate, go to the bathroom. This is you're literally about to shit yourself, bro. You need to go.
Yeah, but like there is a uncomfortably large number of scenarios in this game where people need to pee when they didn't need to pee earlier.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it sneaks up on you. I would argue that this is coincidental because sometimes it sneaks up on you. Sometimes you're like, oh my, I have to pee so bad, and then you have to pee so bad.
So
It's
here's
gonna
the
be
thing.
a plague for New Orleans.
So here's the thing, Hope/Rebecca/Sabrina. Absolutely. We're gonna roll for that. Next time on New Orleans
On
by
Dragon
Night.
Ball Z.
Does he have to pee?
That is literally
these
our
questions.
cliffhanger. That is our cliffhanger for next time this game happens, is if the secret mage amongst all the kindred has to go to the bathroom.
If
but
the secret mage makes the other secret mage have to pee.
yes. Okay. We are having one more cliffhanger. I was thinking we might be able to maybe wrap up tonight, but I think we're gonna have one more night of the auction. Hopefully that doesn't drive too many of our fans up the wall. But I hope everybody is still enjoying it. As always, you can catch our details about streaming times and games and stuff on our Twitter and our Discord. The links are below on Twitch and YouTube, so go ahead and join us there. You can catch us and find out everything you need to know. And definitely join the Discord. We love chatting with all you people. Next week, that'll be like October 9th or something like that. We're going to miss a game because I'm going to be away and busy. But we'll keep you up to breath on the next time we have a game going. D&D Fridays are still going, so check us there. We are also definitely planning some new stuff coming up in the next couple months. Not going to say anything now because we don't know when or what's going to happen exactly, but after the long problematic missing weeks that we had over the summer with moving and work and family stuff between our entire group, everybody had adult stuff, which was annoying because we'd rather be playing role-playing games and hanging out with you guys. It's getting better, so you'll see more of us regularly and soon. So we'll chat with you all soon, more games, blah blah blah. So until next time that our kindred and local mage are trying to save people from having their souls eaten and just doing their best to stop people.
I was gonna say the next time that we make someone need to pee.
You know what? Yep. Nope.
I agree.
Scrap it all. Scrap it all. Next time we have the mage of our vampire friends make someone need to pee as a plot device. We'll see you soon. So love you all. Bye.
Bye.